All right, let's go ahead and get started for today. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We're very happy to have you and appreciate you joining us. Those of us in Scottsdale, Arizona did manage to survive the 119-degree heat last week. So as they say, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. My name is Joe Greenspan, and I'll be your host for today. I'm pleased to be joined by my colleague, Brent Milner, who will do a live demo a bit later. And we're thrilled to have ACT CEO Bruce Reading with us today as well, who in a moment will share his insights on where we are today and where we're headed as a business in 2025 and beyond. Bruce is extremely passionate about the ACT business and a tireless advocate for our customers. And I trust you'll sense this as he discusses ACT Advantage, the game-changing CRM and front office suite we introduced this past spring. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Because of the large audience, we've muted all the lines, but encourage you to ask questions in the Q&A panel at any time during the session. And we have folks here online who will do their best to answer each of them, either real time or at the end. We're also recording the event today and we'll send it to all attendees shortly after. It's great to see such a high turnout for this event. It's a really exciting time for ACT. So with that, I'd like to introduce ACT CEO, Bruce Reading.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to spend some time with us. You know, 2025 has been a remarkable year so far for ACT. It really earmarks a seed shift in the innovation we've introduced into market. Some things you see directly, like the UI or our mobile app, some not directly in terms of what you see, but what you feel. The performance of the product has never been stronger and better. And we're deepening the capabilities specific to our customers with ACT Advantage that we're going to talk a lot about today. In the coming months, you're going to see a continued evolution of the innovation we introduce into our product offerings, in particular around bringing capabilities to our target customers, yourselves, in a manner that you have shared with us would be most impactful for you. Certainly, the headlines today identify AI as a key driver for future innovation. We certainly see an opportunity to leverage AI, but well beyond that is the capability for us to take what you've shared with us over many years of our partnership together and implement that in our product. And that's exactly what ACT Advantage represents. You know, the best part of my job is speaking to our customers. I try to make sure that I connect with as many as I can every week. I spoke with a young man a week and a half ago that I wanted to share with you this morning because I think it illustrates what we believe at our core, and that is our partnership with our customers. I know it's a cliche and I know you hear it all over, but really when you go through with the team today and think about the innovation that's been introduced to you through ACT Advantage, I think you'll hear very clearly that we've listened carefully to our customers and we've introduced the types of functionality that are important to them. So this young man reached out to me through our website, and it's a startup, four-person startup, so not uncommon to our ideal customer profile. They were coming to ask questions not about the technology or the functionality, but about what's important. They wanted to ask me in my leadership of ACT, what our customers thought of every day, and they were trying to wade through not just all of the functionality that ACT was representing, but in the marketplace in general. And it occurred to me through this conversation that a big part of our role in our partnership with you is to cut through the noise and really get to the meat of what matters for you to be able to operate your business and bring competitive advantage through the use of technology for you. Advantage represents just that. It's our biggest advancement in our history. We're 38 years old this year, and I am absolutely delighted to tell you unabashedly that Advantage represents 38 years of input from our customers. There's no fluff in there. The functional capabilities that reside in that product are a direct result of feedback from our customers over those years. We are without question committed to your success, And I look forward to the coming months and years as we deepen our relationship with all of you and understand how to deliver even further value beyond what you're going to hear about today. It goes without saying, I'm incredibly grateful for your continued loyalty. I couldn't be more excited for the position we find ourselves in the marketplace today and where we're headed. And it's all a result of our partnership with our customers. It's rare that companies have the opportunity to share relationships that are older than 30 years, but we have tens of thousands of them. And we take that very seriously and we honor it very aggressively. I'm going to pass it back to Joe and team now to talk about ActAdvantage and other exciting developments across our business. But I wanted to say thank you for taking a few minutes today to share with us the announcement of ActAdvantage. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Bruce. Hi again, everyone. I'm really, really excited to introduce ActAdvantage to you if you're not already familiar with it, because as Bruce mentioned, it truly is the most significant advancement for ACT in the last decade, if not in ACT's long history. So let's talk about why that is. So for years, you've relied on ACT to manage all the important details of your customer relationships and to keep you organized and productive. It's been your go-to resource to capture contact details, notes, emails, and history, and to manage your appointments, meetings, tasks, and to-dos. It's helped you find new prospects, close new deals, and gain insight into where you should focus your time and resources. The good news is nothing is changing there. What ActAdvantage does is expands ACT's reach outside the four walls of what is commonly defined as CRM and positions it at the center or as the beating heart of all your relationship management activities across the entire front office. This is what we mean when we say ActAdvantage is CRM and so much more. ActAdvantage is a game changer because it fuses together in one unified solution your customer data with your sales processes, your marketing outreach, your website, your accounting system, customer service functions, and more for maximum efficiency and productivity. Think of it as an entire business in a box. New features and services like interactive quotes, online appointment scheduling, email list verification, surveys, web forms and events, project management, accounting integration, and even a customer portal means ActAdvantage is an all-in-one relationship management solution, and it's purpose-built for small and medium-sized businesses like yours. And as you'll see later, it's an incredible value. So rather than managing and paying for a rat's nest of disconnected point solutions to use in conjunction with ACT, you now have everything you need inside ACT in one easy-to-use place, fully integrated and interacting with the customer data you've been curating for years. We are extremely excited about the infinite potential that ActAdvantage can unlock for you all. You've heard the old saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. ActAdvantage proves this out in spades. The fusion of powerful CRM with all of the modern tools you need to extend your marketing reach, drive deals through the pipeline faster, manage relationships more effectively, and deliver great experiences gives you an edge over the competition and is bound to induce aha moments as you begin to unleash the power of ActAdvantage for yourselves. So ActAdvantage brings a ton of new capabilities to the table. Today, we're going to view them through three lenses: that of sales, marketing, and productivity accelerators. You'll quickly see that no matter what industry you're in, or whether you're a startup or mature and established, there's value to unlock using ActAdvantage for everyone. So let's check out a couple day in the life examples across different industries to help illustrate this. Okay, on the sales front, let's think about an IT consulting firm that sells equipment and service contracts to clients who rely on them to ensure their network is always up and running. As you'll see, ActAdvantage expands the scope of how they can use ACT to grow, to ensure client satisfaction, and to generate repeat business. So at the start of his day, David, a senior account manager, looks at his task list in ActAdvantage And waiting for him are 3 new service inquiries or leads that came in overnight via an online form on his firm's website. Also in ActAdvantage are 2 new appointments on his calendar that his clients self-scheduled using the new online scheduling feature. ActAdvantage created these for him automatically while he was sleeping because his website and his calendaring system are now fused together with his CRM in ActAdvantage. So David does some call prep by reviewing recent notes, products owned, and active service contracts before he sets off to call or visit these clients. Using the new interactive quotes feature in ActAdvantage, David can now design and customize professional quotes with the appropriate products or services, send it to the client, and automatically schedule follow-ups for him and send reminders to the recipients of the quotes. Sending the quote automatically creates an opportunity in Act, but here's where it gets really cool. With ActAdvantage, David can now see in real time when the customer opens, interacts with, or accepts the quote right in Act. Talk about being able to strike while the iron is hot and knowing where to focus your time. As the day winds down, David creates a group of high potential targets for a new service and invites them to an upcoming web seminar. The event management capabilities in ActAdvantage automate the tasks and communications to ensure high attendance. He then views a dynamic group of all of his clients that have a contract expiring in the next 45 days. With a few clicks, he sends them a professional-looking renewal reminder via email to ensure a high renewal rate, right from within Act. And finally, while David's driving home that evening, his opportunities and sales pipeline refresh automatically in real time as clients accept or close the quotes he sent out just hours earlier. ActAdvantage has been a force multiplier for David today, maximizing his time and effectiveness. Okay, let's take a look at another scenario, a marketing-oriented one. Okay, so here we have Mary, a third-generation owner-operator of a residential HVAC company. Her success depends on her ability to be responsive to her customers' needs, delivering equipment and maintenance services she can stand behind in a very competitive market. ActAdvantage provides Mary many competitive advantages she leverages to drive customer satisfaction and loyalty. So Mary is constantly doing outreach to her customers to inform them of new products, remind them about annual maintenance, and ultimately drum up new business. She uses Act email marketing extensively as it's a cost-effective means to have a broad reach. But emails are only as good as the number of inboxes they actually reach. ActAdvantage includes an email list verification service that lets Mary know when her lists need updating so she can take action quickly. So now, confident in the quality of her customer data, Mary uses ActAdvantage to design and send custom newsletters, seasonal promotions, satisfaction surveys, and warranty reminders, all ways of staying constantly engaged with her customers. When one of these customers goes to her website to learn more, she can now interact with them live in real time using the new website chat feature in ActAdvantage, a great way to up your game in terms of responsiveness and customer intimacy. But here's where ActAdvantage gets really cool. Anytime a customer fills out a form or schedules an online appointment, this information goes directly into ActAdvantage, automatically creates a new contact or updates an existing one, and schedules follow-up activities that you define. Mary's business is now running 24/7, even when she's not physically present, because her database, website, emails, and scheduling system are all fused together in ActAdvantage. So as Mary winds down her day, she sends a custom designed survey to 1,000 clients in the local area. Waiting for her the next morning are 50 hot leads because anyone who responded to the question, "How old is your AC unit?" with an answer of 10 years or more, automatically is tagged with a task to do immediate outreach. With ActAdvantage, Mary knows exactly where to spend her time because she's leveraging all of the integrated marketing tools to drive results. Okay, let's finish up with what we call productivity accelerators. The customer portal feature in ACT is very powerful. Let's think about insurance agents or financial advisors or recruiters. These are relationship based fields where details matter. Providing online self service capabilities help meet client expectations for round the clock availability and empowers them with information like their account number or what products or plan they have or when the renewal or service anniversary is. They can edit and update info if they move or buy a house or have a baby or a change in employment, for example. You can also post documents, provide links, or publish FAQs. This 24 by 7 empowerment adds another dimension to your business, saves time and money, and drives customer satisfaction. But let's talk about project management for a moment and think about a general contractor or a landscape designer or a swimming pool installer. These are complex project based fields where keeping the customer informed of what's going on at each stage is key to managing expectations. With Act Advantage, you can effortlessly keep customers in the loop as projects progress by providing a link to check the status, read any notes or questions, or even request the customer keep up their end of the bargain by getting city permits, or better yet, by sending you a check. And let's finish with Accounting Link, another powerful new feature in Act Advantage. Let's think about a manufacturer or a supplier who fills a lot of repeat orders for big dollars. They can now have visibility into the financial health of each customer right within Act. We're talking about outstanding invoices, recent payments, aging receivables, or even bad debt. What's worse than spending time selling to a customer who doesn't pay their bills, as I'm sure you'd agree? Okay, we've covered a lot. That's because Act Advantage has a lot to offer. I'm going to pass to my colleague Brent now, who will demo just a few of the new features in Act Advantage. Brent, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. I'm happy to be here and going to take you on a little bit of a journey through Act Advantage and some of the additional features that Joe mentioned. The first thing I want to mention, though, is when you log into Act and you click additional features in the left navigation, you'll see everything that Joe mentioned is listed here on this screen in one easy to find place. And so I'm just going to go through a couple of these at a really high level to show you some of the features that Act Advantage now includes. And we're going to begin with the interactive quotes area. So I've designed and I've sent a quote to one of my customers, and the quote is called Festival in the Fall. And I just want to show you what that looks like. This quote, which will be sent to the customer, shows the date it was issued, when it's valid until, the total dollar amount of this quote, who the sales rep is, address information, line items of the quote, and a total down below. So you can see this quote contains quite a lot of information, and it's presented in an attractive form. If I edit this quote, I'll show you a few other options that we have here. When looking at the quote and editing it, you can make some additional, you can tailor it to meet other needs that you may have. For example, down below, you can set tax values that you might need to set for it. You can add discounts, even a required deposit or shipping fee. Any of those types of items can be included in the quote as well. In the line items area, you can set up the products or services that you want to include with the quote, along with the quantity and price of each item, giving you a subtotal at the bottom. You can also set your quotes to create opportunities within your ACT database. So this is going to be an opportunity record that appears in ACT and will stay there, and it will be closely tied to and connected to this quote. You can view activities of your quotes to see when this quote was sent out to a customer, when the customer opened it, when the customer accepted it, and so on. On your quotes list, you can see key performance indicators at the top, which show you some important financial information with regards to the total of your quotes and the indicators that will kind of make up your whole financial status around your sales pipeline. There's an activity dashboard section, which breaks down each of your quotes by parts to show when exactly different activities happened with this quote, when the customer opened it, viewed it, or accepted it. And then you can see each of these for all of your quotes in one place. If we go to the contact detail view for the customer whom I sent this quote to, we can see some additional information as well. I sent this quote to Ryan. And if I look at the opportunity tab for Ryan, we can see that this quote that I've created and sent out to him now exists as an opportunity record in ACT. So you can see that it's completely integrated with your ACT database, specifically your opportunity area, your calendar area, everywhere that you go in ACT. So let's take a look now at what the customer would see. I mentioned before, I sent this quote to Ryan, to my customer. It's very easy to do this. Once you've created a quote, you can just click the send button here and it'll send that quote out. You can include a personal message if you want to, along with that quote. And then once it's sent out, the customer will see an email that says your quote is ready. They can open that email to see any personalization you've put in this email. You can attach the quote as a PDF file. The customer can click a link to view this quote. And from here, they'll be called to action to accept this quote. If you scroll down below, Ryan would need to enter some information, which I'll put in here now, and we're going to accept this quote in real time. We'll put in his email address, which is long, so I've copied it. And then down below, we'll just click accept quote. Once you do that, ACT will send the customer a verification message so that they can verify they're the right person for this. We'll just copy that number real quick. Go back into the quote and paste it. A little extra step of security to make sure that your quotes are secure and that they're being seen by the right person. So once they click that security and fill that out, they'll get a thank you note to let them know you've accepted the quote. And that's it for the customer. Now, when we go back to see what the ACT user sees, now if we go back to the activity dashboard for my quote list, we'll be able to see that this new quote indeed was accepted by the customer. We can expand this timeline arrow to see when it was viewed and when it was accepted. Back on the, if we go to the reports tab, we can also see graphs and charts for all the deals that we've won, that we've lost, or even expired. And then if we scroll down, we can see each individual quote by salesperson. So you can see how each of the salespeople at your company are doing. Let's take a step into a different direction now and look at web lead forms. So web lead forms are great, a great way for you to have customers interact with you, whether they want to request more information from you or to sign up and participate with something you're doing, whatever it might be. You can create web lead forms in this way inside Act Advantage. I'm going to show you an example of one web lead form that I created. This is a form that allows my customers to become first adopters to some of my products if they're interested in it. They can be sort of my test group for products and services. And so on this web lead form, I ask them for their information. And then down below, I ask for some specific questions on products that they might want to sample. Once they submit that form to me, ACT goes to work. And I should mention that these forms can be customized and branded to meet whatever needs you have at your company with colors and logos and layouts. Now, what you see is when you go to your forms area and you edit one of these forms, you'll be able to add a lot of different customizations to this as well. I'll start by just showing you the Contact Fields tab. Here's where you can include the types of fields that you want to include for the customer to submit that back to you. Each of these fields can then be mapped to the ACT database. So if it's a new contact who isn't yet in your ACT database, ACT will create that contact record for you using the information that the customer provided when they submitted the form. If that contact already exists in your ACT database, ACT will use a field that you designate as a duplication check. And then from there, it will update fields that aren't currently in your ACT database from the information the customer submits to you. If we look at one of my customers who filled out this form for me, I can show you what you'll see once they submit that form back to you. If you go to your history tab for any customer who has submitted a form, you'll see a new history type called web activity. And from here, what you can do is click the attachment there to view what their responses were in a PDF file. This is a great way to, while you're talking with a customer on the phone, you can quickly review how they answered that form, and you have all that information right at your fingertips while you're interacting with the customer. So it's integrated with ACT. You don't have to bounce around to a whole bunch of different places. It's right here in the history area for the contact record. Also, what ACT will do is you can add any contacts who submit a form to you into a group in ACT. So in this example, I have a group set up. When I edit my form, you'll see down below, I have set up a group called Glassware First Adopters in ACT. As soon as any of my customers fill out this form and submit it to me, in real time, I can go to the groups area in ACT and locate this group to see everybody who has submitted the form. Now, this is useful because what you can do from this is create a marketing campaign, which would reach out to everybody who sent this form back to you. You have all this information right at your fingertips inside ACT. You don't have to run any additional reports. You don't have to do any extended lookups. These groups are created automatically based on the information that you enter in the form creation. Also, while editing a form like this, you can create activity follow-ups. So when you're creating your form, down below, you can see that there's an area for contact follow-up where you can schedule a follow-up activity on your calendar with the participant. In this instance, I've created a call activity. So anytime somebody submits this form to me, it's going to create a phone call with them within 2 days from the time that they submitted that form to me. That way, nobody slips through the cracks, and I can follow up with everybody based on their form submissions. You can also create opportunities in ACT based on form submissions. In this instance, whenever anybody submits that form to me, I have opportunities that get created. They're named automatically based on the name of the form. So in this instance, Summer 2025 Product First Adopters, and then the name of their company that they provided to me. This is a great way to organize my opportunities so that I know when I'm looking at my list of opportunities, where they came from, like in an example, which form they came from, and what company the contact works for. If I go to my opportunities area, I can see right away that there are a list of opportunities in my database that have been created from this form based on the prefix of the name of the form, Summer 2025 Product First Adopters. If I click on any of these opportunities and I want to follow up with the customer, guess what? On the History tab, their form submission is also included here, which I can view at any time to see the results of the form that they submitted. So again, I'm not having to bounce between the contact record and the opportunity record. If I'm working on the opportunity, that data is right here for me conveniently and linked directly from the form that they submitted. And the last thing I want to show you here in this forms area, in the web lead forms area, are results. So as you have a lot of people submitting forms back to you, you're going to want to see what the results are. What choices are people picking? You can click the reports icon there to see some graphs and charts that make up all the answers from your forms or surveys. And you can export these however you like. You can also toggle to see individual submissions from each contact to get a more detailed view of how your contacts are answering your forms. All right, the last example I want to show you has to do with online appointment scheduling. So you're going to have a need for your customers to reach out for you sometimes and book time on your calendar. And that can be a cumbersome task if they're trying to find the right salesperson or if they're just trying to coordinate when a good time is, that's never fun, asking back and forth when each person is available. So what you can do now in Act is publish your own calendar for yourself and all of your coworkers, and then let your customers book time on the calendar based on the availability that you set. In this example, I have 3 of my employees who have calendars that are published and available for customers to book time. And you can see even on the right, we have a little bit of customization here taking place. 2 of my employees have 30-minute blocks available, and another one of my employees has 60 minutes of blocks available for customers to book time with. This is all set up in different areas, but you can go to your personal calendar, and this is where you can do a couple things. You can set up general preferences to display messaging and other options to customers as they view your calendar. So you can create a friendly message here and instructions on how to book time on your appointment. And then you can switch to your appointment view here to set durations. For example, I have a 30-minute time slot duration where customers can sign up. You can even include buffers in between appointments to prevent adjacent appointment scheduling. So what I might do here is to set a buffer of 30 minutes or so that customers can't book time right next to each other. And what else can you do here? You can create act activity types. So when you have appointments scheduled, you're going to want to designate the type of activity that it should be created in Act, whether it's a phone call or a meeting. And again, also setting your time zone is important. That's important to do when you're creating your appointments. So you'd go into your availability area, set your time zone here so that when customers are booking time, their calendars are then synchronized to the time in your time zone. So I'm going to set up a 30-minute buffer here just to prevent other people from booking time right next to each of my own appointments. Down below, there's also blacklisted days that you can create. So you can block out holidays, birthdays. If you're going to be away on vacation, you can set up blacklisted times there as well. At the top, you can set your own availability here, days of the week that you're available, and then times on those days. You can set one calendar for all days of the week, or you can choose which days should have which specific availabilities. All those options are there conveniently for you. So what does the customer see? Well, what's going to happen now is as you publish this calendar and you send it back to your customers, you're going to provide a link to your calendar to your customers. You can copy this link and put it in the signature file of your emails, or however you want to communicate this to your customers. You'll want to send them that link. And then as they go to open this link, they're going to now see your calendar. They'll be advised to set their time zone before they can do anything else. And this is important so that when they book time on your calendar, at least it matches the time they would expect to be seeing here. Once they set their time zone, then all they have to do is find the right day of the week that they want to book time, and then click book for the calendar that you've set as available. So my calendar is available from 9 a.m. to 4:30. Anything beyond that, you can't book time with me. So I'm going to say one customer is going to book time on the 21st at 10 a.m. When they click that, they can provide a subject and details, and you can customize this to ask them to put whatever kind of details you want them to put in here. But this is where they can communicate to you what this booking is all about. And then down below, they would put in their name. If they do not yet exist in Act, then Act will create a contact record for them at the same time that it books them on your calendar. So I'm going to just use one Act contact that I've already created. Her name is Joan, and she's going to book time with me. Oop, I got to put a subject in here. Demonstration. Once they create that appointment, they'll be provided with a downloadable ICS file where they can then attach that appointment to their own personal calendar. And that's what the customer will see. Now, what the Act user will see is as customers are booking time on your calendar, now it will show up on your calendar in Act. So if I go to my calendar page and I switch to the 21st, I'll see that this item has been booked with me for 10 a.m. I'll also see it as I go to the contact record for the customer. And if I go to Joan's detail view and look at her activities tab, I should see that this time here is now booked between myself and Joan at that specific time. Back in the online appointment scheduling screen, you can see on the submissions area a list of people who have booked time on any of your calendars. This gives you an overall view of who's using the appointment calendaring system to book time with you or anybody else at your company. And if I were to go back to my calendar once again, just to show that this is working completely. Oops, I need to get my calendar link again here. We'll see that on the specific date and time that I just chose, if I set my time zone to Arizona and I go to the 21st, we'll see now that on the 21st, there is time booked at 10 a.m. and the buffer that I put in place of 30 minutes blocks out the next half-hour slot on either time of that calendar. So as you can see, we've only touched on really 3 of these features, and we really only just scratched the surface of them. There's much more here that we haven't covered. And the good news is we're going to be doing additional sessions as the months go by to drill down deep into each of these additional features. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot of new tools here. It's all available here in one easy place. And with that, let's send it back to you, Joe.
All right, thanks very much, Brent. Let's press forward. So as Brent mentioned, we'll be doing additional webinars in the coming weeks where Brent dives deep into each of these new features in ActAdvantage one by one. So again, please stay tuned for those. Okay, so if you're like many, you use other business apps or point solutions in conjunction with using Act for what it was traditionally known for. That means managing and paying for a disconnected or disjointed hodgepodge of apps, which can be cumbersome, ineffective, and expensive. ActAdvantage to the rescue. You're now able to get everything you need in one solution from one vendor for one price, so you can eliminate these other expenses one by one. Let's say you've been using Calendly for online scheduling, or Constant Contact for email marketing, or maybe SurveyMonkey to send surveys. ActAdvantage does all of these functions, plus the many others I shared, like interactive quotes and web chat and project management. But the real magic is that there's no integration to do, no lists to upload or import, and no double entry or data that's out of sync. I mentioned earlier that old saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. ActAdvantage is everything you need to manage all of your relationship management tasks fused together in one unified place. Okay, so hopefully by now you're thinking about how ActAdvantage can transform your business in any number of ways, and how as an all-in-one solution, it can streamline and simplify things for you dramatically. But the good news is that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to achieve all this. We have injected all of these new capabilities, all of this new value into 3 plans that others charge double or triple or even more for, if they offer it at all. The standard tier of ActAdvantage offers all of the robust CRM capabilities you expect from Act, plus individual user-oriented versions of the new features like quotes, forms, and online scheduling. It also includes a taste test of our powerful email marketing service, ample cloud storage, and standard tech support, all for $30 a month. As you move up the range into the professional and ultimate tiers, you get team-oriented versions of the features we discussed today. So you can collaborate and share information and tasks and calendars and the like. You also unlock the full menu of e-marketing capabilities and get a massive allotment of either 25,000 or 50,000 emails per month, as well as features like accounting integration, project management, custom tables, an online portal, and even VIP tech support, all included. So there's a massive amount of value in these packages. So please go to our website at act.com/pricing for a detailed breakdown, well beyond what would fit on a slide here today. And when you do, think about what you'll be able to save each month by eliminating other products that are now redundant because they're included in Act Advantage. So if you're already using Act in the cloud but are not on an Act Advantage plan, making the switch is easy. When you upgrade your plan with us, you get instant access. There's nothing else you need to do on your end. All right, so switching gears a bit, we want to share some updates on recent innovations in other areas of ACT before we close for the day. So let's take a quick look. ACT Mobile. So if you're like me, your phone is basically an extra body part that rarely leaves your side. So I won't bother painting that familiar picture. But given how competitive business is today and how customer expectations continue to increase, incorporating ACT Mobile in your daily routine is a way to exceed those expectations by ensuring you have the tools and the information you need at your fingertips to be informed, prepared, and productive wherever your day may take you. So there's a ton of research out there focusing on the measurable value of mobile CRM. And it lines up exactly with what we see and hear from our own customers who have adopted ACT Mobile. And the best part is it's included with your ACT Cloud subscription at no additional charge. So if you haven't checked out ACT Mobile yet, frankly, you're missing out. You can scan the QR code at the bottom there and it will take you right to it on the app stores. We're constantly enhancing it as well, recently adding groups, a business card scanner, multi-user calendars, and various customization options. It's really slick and powerful, so please take advantage of it. Okay, there's a number of other exciting things we're working on for ACT Cloud customers slated to be released throughout the rest of the year. This is a sample of what we have planned, as it's our commitment to continuously deliver value to you all as our subscribers. We continue to enhance the user experience, and one of the cool things you'll see introduced soon is in-product guidance. There will be prompts to learn and try new things, as well as links to articles and videos to help you adopt them and realize value quickly. There will also be new self-service account management options in product, as well as a notification center that will light up when there's pertinent info for you or when a long-running task like a large upload or a data-intensive report run is complete. On the communications front, there's a new page in the left navigation that serves as a front door to all of the marketing and communication-oriented tasks you may need throughout your day in one organized place. We'll be introducing powerful new SMS text messaging capabilities and tighter integrations with Google and Outlook as well. So no doubt you've all begun to experiment with AI in various ways and see the tremendous potential it offers as a force multiplier and as a time saver. We're working on incorporating AI in areas like account management and marketing and reporting, but in very practical ways that empower you to work faster and smarter. Imagine asking ACT to serve you up a summary of everything that's gone on with a particular client in the last 90 days. Or which of your customers would benefit most from a new product or respond to a promotion. It's very powerful. Continuously optimizing performance is always on the docket, and we're working on some advanced methods for processing large data sets and resource-intensive queries and reports. And as we talked about, mobile is a critical piece of the ACT proposition. So we'll be adding things like a customizable homepage, caller ID integration, and even a tablet version in the coming months. Again, this is just a sample, but as you can see, there's a lot of innovation on several fronts. And please keep sharing with us what you need to be productive and successful. Okay, before we break, many of you on the call use an on-premises or desktop version of ACT, and we're glad you're here today. While much of what we've shared is unique to the cloud platform, the desktop version of ACT remains an important part of the ACT proposition, which has always centered on flexibility and freedom of choice. Our commitment to our desktop customers is as strong as ever. To that end, we'll be releasing version 27 of ACT Desktop in just a few weeks. Key highlights include 5 new utilities that streamline common tasks. For example, you'll now be able to easily apply changes in mass to all opportunities in a lookup versus doing it one by one. You'll be able to search for contacts from a list of values from any field, as well as select and delete all activities for a user in one motion. These utilities were driven by your feedback, so please keep letting us know how we can enhance the product to serve you better. Version 27 will also include SQL 2022, new mail merge, and a number of performance enhancements. So if you're using ACT Desktop, stay tuned for info on V27 in the coming weeks. And if you're curious if moving to the cloud is right for you, sign up for a free trial to check it out. ACT is here to support you in the manner that makes the most sense for your unique business. Okay, as I said at the beginning, we greatly appreciate seeing so many of you here today and with us each month for our regular training webinars. You can visit act.com/explore to sign up for upcoming webcasts and to view recordings of any you may have missed from months prior. There's a ton of great content there, ranging from product training to best practices in sales and marketing to guidance on reporting and analytics, you name it. You can watch at your own pace when it's convenient for you. You can also email us at team@act.com if you have suggestions or ideas for future webcasts. We love getting that feedback from you all. So again, we only scratched the surface today on ACT Advantage, so please stay tuned for upcoming webcasts where Brent will dive deep into all the new features of ACT Advantage with more in-depth live demos. All right, thanks again for attending, everyone. Have a great day. We will stay on the line to answer any remaining questions in the Q&A. Take care and thank you.